Can't hear anything. It's the same problem, I guess. All right. Now? Can you hear me now, James? Not the win, but I want to find out exactly how Diamond the Shield is right now. She's fine. I think she's fine. I mean, she was just in the locker room, and I got a chance to see her. She's fine. A little sore, but she's fine. I imagine this is such a relief to have this win at this point to finally get that losing streak over with. Collectively, how did you look at this whole game? We just wanted to get one, and these are the I guess the best wins to get when you get them and you don't play to your potential. I think it's a lot of things that we can do better. So we'll continue to work on that. I think in the second half we did a better job of taking care of the ball, but and that showed in our play in the second half. But defensively, we have to clean some things up. Offensively, our bench was great. I think we had 40 points or something like that off the bench, and that was a big boost for us, a big boost for our confidence. The rookies came in and did their thing, and but it's still some stuff we have to do to clean up for the next game. The impact of having Candace play tonight. It was a big impact. I thought, I think the first play she had, she gave a layup. She got a layup to Cobb, and we hadn't been getting out consistently like we were today. And I thought for us to get out in transition, because you have another point of attack, another post player that can handle the ball in transition and force the guards to run, and just her presence communicating. And she still has to get into rhythm, and that's understandable. But she was big for us.
Five players finished the game scoring in double figures. So I wonder what your takeaway from all these players being involved and how significant it was to get that many players involved offensively.
I mean, it was big. The fact that we were able to do that off the bench, have two players off the bench to come in and score. That's kind of balance that we look for. Like we have a team, and that's our strength. The fact that we have multiple point of attacks, and I think it was a concentrated effort, a focused effort from our group that we moved the ball tonight, and they did a good job of it.
The Fever cut your guys' lead to, I think, as low as 4 in the third quarter.
Mm-hmm.
And you talked about, cleaning things up on defense. So can you assess that and what that breakdown was and what you saw?
I think a lot of it had to do with the focus on the ball. We were trying to jump in the schemes before we had the ball control. And a lot of times, you just have to make sure the ball is contained. And we're communicating, especially on the backside, and we're letting players that are scrambling know where to go. And so I think it was more of that. We have to make sure that the ball is contained before we start thinking about schemes. So we'll work on that in the next couple of days, try to adjust and correct that for the next game.
Lastly for me, turnovers, y'all finished with 10, which is significantly less than the numbers you all started the season with. What has changed in terms of practice or that's led to this lower turnover rate?
I think that's what's changed, practice. We've done a couple of things in practice that has really honed in on us turning the ball over and us being able to practice too. That helps a lot, and we just we want to keep that going. I know we have more breaks coming up now, but we just want to make sure that we have days where we can come in and do things and kind of focus on our spacing and our timing and our screening. And so without having to take away from our defense at all. But right now we think that's the turnover is one thing that hurts our defense. And you even saw it in the first half a little bit. So we just have to continue to do better and continue to make that a priority.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Questions for James before we bring in Candace. Jamal Collier.
Hey James, did you have Candace on a minutes restriction tonight, and is that something that you kind of want to ease her back in going forward?
Yeah, she's on a minutes restriction. So we just want to make sure we're listening to her body and we're just smart about everything and not know that we want to win games and we need her to win games, but at the same time we don't want to sacrifice anything long term, and the minutes that she was at tonight helped us out a lot, and so we just want to continue to do that.
And kind of what you just made, obviously just kind of given the start you guys had and her being out, is there any concern or worry on your part about her necessarily coming back or feeling like she has to be a savior or have to sort of do things for you all? How do you manage that?
No, I mean, Candace is an intelligent player. She's really smart. She understands what she means to this team, and I don't think it's any pressure coming from anyone. I think she's at a point where she can play minutes for us and actually impact the game, and so she wants to play basketball. That's the thing. She loves playing basketball. She loves playing on this team, and so it's not about. I don't think we're thinking of it that way is coming in and saving us, but we do value her leadership and we do value her talent and we do value her as a teammate. And so I think it's just her getting healthy. I think that's the main thing.
Doug Feinberg.
James, good to see you.
Hey, Doug.
You kind of mentioned it, but how much does it help trying to work Candace back and having these practice days, only having one game, I think, in the next 5 or 6, that she can try to get her rhythm back and into the flow of things, get her fitness back, whether if you had, like, I think next week you have 3 games in 5 days, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean, that helps a lot. The fact that, she gets to work on all these things without having to be game pounding and it have to be, specific instruction as far as, breaking down schemes and things like that. So now she gets to really focus on her and her conditioning and her body and getting even more healthy. So we can approach it a different way. The games is always hard to do that because you're given a certain amount and it's no off, it's no off button. In practice, you can kind of control that and do those things and help her get right. So it helps the timing right now. And so we're just going to try to get her back to 100%.
You mentioned the bench tonight, how well they played. She was sort of because Dana Evans had a great game. It looked like, or a pretty good game for you guys. Is she helping solidify her spot maybe as the backup point guard, so to speak?
Yeah, she was good, man. Like she was good. So I was happy about that, especially when you get somebody of that talent level and they seem to fit in comfortably. And so, she's been really good the last few days in practice and stuff like that. So she's definitely a player, man. So I'm just happy that she's here with us finally.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
Coach, thanks for your time. Whether it's 16 minutes playing a game like today when your depth is kind of replenished, or being able to have or having to rely on her a little bit more. I mean, Ruthie has just made her impact known. I mean, do you feel like she's taken that next step to where you need her to be and where she wants to be?
Yeah, she has. She's still growing. I think we see a lot in Ruthie that I think the league probably hasn't seen yet. And I think it's a player that's coming. And so, we appreciate her so much and what she brings, everything on the floor and off the floor. And, her talent level is going to take her places. And we're just so happy to have her in the Sky uniform. She's really a joy to coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Hey, Coach Bates, how you doing?
Hey, no.
I just want to talk about Azure. She came in, she hit some big threes for you guys tonight off the bench.
Yeah.
And I just want to talk about her growth and how she has pretty much came back from her injury and has the confidence just to step in and knock down those big shots when you need them.
Yeah, Z was good. So that's probably the best job I did tonight, was that I was able to get her to 16 minutes, and Z she fits really well in our system. She's still a young player that is growing, she's still growing, and she's a special talent. And the fact that she was able to do what she did tonight in 16 minutes and play with confidence, and she's still not even 100% yet, but we'll get her there. And when she's there, I think the sky is going to be limitless for her. And so she's another person that I'm just happy to be coaching. And when we lose, I love coaching our team. When we win, I love coaching our team. And the players that we have here, they make it really wonderful to come in and work. And so we went through a tough spell. And I think in sports, when teams go through a tough spell, you have some teams that will go the other direction. Our team has really fought tooth and nail to keep this thing together and to stay positive and be supportive of each other. And it's been something that, I know that's going to help us push through to the next level. So we'll try to get there.
Coach Wade.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you, James.
All right.
Coordinators of the Candace Parker. Courtney, thank you for joining us. We'll start with Annie Costas sometimes.
Hey, Courtney, ahead of the game, Wade said that he took out 60% of the playbook in an effort to simplify things. And tonight we saw 5 Sky players finish in double-digit scoring and a huge night from the bench. Was it as simple as taking 60% of the playbook out, or how do you assess this jolt offensively?
I think 2 days of practice really helped. Just getting our rhythm back, getting our confidence back, getting in the gym. I think it does help to simplify it because, we have a lot of talent. We don't need a huge playbook. We have a lot of players that can make plays. But I think it was a combination of things, that we got in the gym and we got to work on some things. And people got to see the ball go through the basket. So that, that makes a big difference.
Dana Evans had a good night, 9 points, and seemed to add a spark off the bench. How would you assess the job she's doing as a backup point guard?
Yeah, she's doing an incredible job. I feel like it was stacked against her too, to just be like kind of just showed up one day. We're on the middle of a losing streak, and she just did it with such poise. Her game really complements us, I think, and I just like what she does out there. She's fearless. She's a sponge. She absorbs things really fast, and that's the type of player we need. And I think she showed what she can do in this league tonight.
Thank you.
You need to update your Zoom. Nick Hamilton.
Courtney, congratulations on the win.
Thank you.
Mentally, how big was this win for you all? I know you guys have been kind of going through the course, just throughout the season, dealing with injuries and things like that. So how big was this win tonight for you?
It's huge. When you drop 7 in a row and you win is something to celebrate. So, we're going to enjoy this one, but we know that we didn't play a perfect game and we still got a lot of work to do. But for, our confidence level, it's huge, and we're going to celebrate this because it is hard to win in this league. And so we're not going to take any wins for granted. So, we're going to back to the drawing book. We have to turn around and play them again. And, they're hungry and they're going to want to come for us. So we got to enjoy it now, but really prepare for the next game and make sure we clean up a few things.
Zach Draves, we'll try you again. I should work now. Here we go.
Hi, Courtney. How are you?
Hi, I'm good.
Great game out there today. How much did Candace's returning? I know everybody's talking about it, but I just wanted to hear from you. How much is Candace's returning put you all at such ease and make you feel as though bringing in that confidence that you all talked about, bringing back that confidence?
Yeah, we're excited to have her back. We realize it's going to take some time too, because she's been off for, a couple weeks. So, but just having her out there, it helps the morale. I mean, obviously she's a playmaker. She can do a lot of things on the court. So that it's just different when she's out there, when she's in a uniform, when she's on the bench. We're gonna use her, and we appreciate her, and it's just gonna get better from here.
And just kind of wanted to follow up. What are some things that you hope to take away from this particular game and take that into going to Indiana on Sunday?
Well, I think
Saturday.
Scoring, 92 points. I don't have a stat sheet. Scoring in the 90s. We haven't done that, I don't think, this season. I think that's something that we can take into. We kind of struggled sometimes offensively, especially in late game situations. So that's something that we can, that build from. I think we need to clean a few things up defensively, but we scored the basketball well. We had a lot of people step up and make shots. So, that's something we're going to look to continue on in the rest of the season. We're going to need it.
Thank you, Courtney.
James mentioned that he kind of saw you guys, coming through together, like fighting, coming together against during this tough stretch. Do you hear me?
I can, yeah. A little quiet, but yeah.
Yeah, just that you all coming together during this tough stretch. Just in what ways have you seen that, and do you feel the same way?
What was the beginning?
James said that he just saw y'all sort of the team coming together through this tough stretch because you'll be stronger on the other side of it. In what ways have you seen that?
Well, I think, just the morale around the team continuing to be positive through a losing streak like that. It's not easy to do. It's really difficult, but we know and believe that we have enough. And, we talk about chemistry a lot with this team and how well we get along, and we never stop believing in each other. So yes, I agree. We knew that things were going to turn around for us. We just have to stay together and, stay the course.
Wilson.
Court, what's going on? How are you?
Eric.
Court, can you hear me?
Yeah. Hey.
Hey,
Sorry.
so congrats on the victory. I just wanted to ask, 28 minutes. Typically in games, you're pushing that 32-minute mark. How did it feel to actually have some time to, stay fresh throughout the whole entire game?
It's huge. It's 28 minutes is I looked at that and I love that. That makes it easier on me. Like we kind of touched on, Dana had really good minutes. It gives her an opportunity to be out there and make an impact. So it's big for us going on and later on in the season, just being able to have someone at that position that can be out there and let me sit on the bench a little. 28 sounds is right where I need to be, I think.
17-9 tonight. Were you pushing for that last assist to get that double-double?
No, just I didn't even notice until I was already out. So, I'm just trying to always make plays.
One last question. As this team begins to get back to 100%, can we just talk about Allie for a minute and the impact of her being back on the court as well? Because, the Sky is known for having the Vanderbigs on the court together.
Yeah, I mean, she makes such a big difference for me personally, but for us as a whole. The spacing on the floor is completely different when Allie's on the floor. She's always going to be a threat. She's almost unguardable coming off screens. So, and when we have Steph setting the screens for her, I mean, it's tough to guard, and it makes things flow so much easier for us. But just having her out there, I think at one point, all she has to do is set a screen and I get a layup because teams are so worried about her, which they should be, So it does change things for us. It's a nice mix up with athletes on the wing and then spacing with her and shooting. So, we're going to look to build off that. That's something that is going to help us offensively going forward, definitely.
Appreciate it. Thanks, Court.
Thank you, Eric.
Thank you so much. We'll bring in Candace Parker next.
Oh, see you guys.
Thanks, Courtney. Candace, thank you for joining us.
No problem.
Started right off the bat with Eric Wilson.
All right. Thank you.
Good evening. How are you?
Hi, how are you guys?
Congratulations. Love the jersey, by the way.
Thank you.
So I just wanted to ask you, 18 minutes, how are you feeling? And what about tonight is just kind of getting you ladies back on your grind and back on that mojo?
Well, I think Coach talks about just getting one. And, it starts with one. So we got that. It's still, what's crazy is like we still have so much more that we can do. For me personally, I think I've honestly rehabbed my ass off the last 3 weeks to even put myself in a position to be back on the court. So I just am really appreciative for our staff, my team at home, back in LA, just everybody that has contributed to even allow me to get back on the court. I'm super thankful. Hey, I'm just happy to be out playing basketball. So it wasn't, like I said, it wasn't the prettiest, but it'll get there. It'll get better.
Presence is definitely something that the team appreciates. But I know having you on the court definitely adds that additional spark for the team to kind of step up their game. Now, I know personally, James had said he wanted to keep you at 20. You played 17, almost 18 minutes. Just from a physical standpoint, how is the ankle and where is Candace at, like percentage-wise, as far as being back to 100%?
Well, I hope I'm nowhere near what I'm going to be. But at the same time, I think at 35, it's a different feeling. Like my ankle feels good. My back is a little sore. I mean, it's my knee, it's basically starting back playing training camp. I've had one practice and one workout and I've played. So I think it's just getting the timing back, but it was amazing to be out on the court. And I was telling Diamond this as well. I said, I don't think you understand how much you can impact the game, not just scoring. And I had to kind of go to myself and tell myself that today is that I can impact the game in different ways if I'm not hitting my shots or if I'm not scoring. And just coming into the situation, I want my energy to be positive, my energy to be there all the time, no matter what is going on with me, what's going on with my stat line, whatever. And so I think just personally, I brought the energy, I brought the effort, and, that's all that I can control. Mm-hmm.
And you go out and obviously the team goes on this long 7-game losing streak. So what were just some of your feelings watching the team? Were you feeling frustrated? What was going through your head these past couple weeks?
These past couple weeks, we've been right there, and just trying to stay positive, trying to stay engaged. I love basketball, so I've watched, around the league. I always am constantly watching basketball. And, I think at some point in every season, every team is going to hit a little adversity. And, obviously we got smacked in the face with it. And we acknowledge losing 7 straight was not ideal. But, it's how you get back up. And we have great people that's hearts are all in the right place. And I think sometimes it's like when you get in a losing streak, it's negativity and there's finger pointing and there's people that don't have the best intentions. That's not at all how it is here. And I think because of that, if we continue to do those things, be in the right place and get better, we'll get ourselves out of this.
Just kind of rehabbed your ass off. What did this make anything make this more intense? This rehab?
Now I can.
You just said you sound like the rehab was intense. Anything that made this more intense than normal, or why did you say you rehabbed your ass off?
Did you see my ankle? Like it was jacked up. Yeah, it was jacked up. So it was just about getting on the court. And for me, I'm not patient. So it was really hard for me to not be able to bounce back, not be able to just get out there and play in a week, you know, and to really put the time and the energy in. And like I said, I mean, acupuncture, chiropractor, because like I said earlier, it's not just my ankle that I have to rehab, it's my knees, it's my back, because everything else will react to it. So, you know, I was able to obviously have a lot of people here that helped at IBJI, Julia, Brandon, amazing people that have helped me, Bria, our trainer here, Sam. And then I was able to go back to LA and see some of my people that I've been seeing for my whole career. And so I'm really appreciative for those that have helped me get back on the court. Yep.
Candace, do you have to be careful, not just the injury, but wanting to make such an impact on this team that you can't let your game get away from you because so much is expected of you?
Listen, if I let that pressure or those expectations, I would have been done a long time ago. I mean, I welcome it. I understand that, you know, that's what comes with it. And I'll be better. I really will. But at the same time, it's about getting W's, right? So we got the win. It wasn't pretty from my standpoint, but I think my teammates did amazing and, you know, made major strides. And, you know, that's what it's about.
Something more about your teammates from watching on the sidelines that you didn't see in training camp?
I think every day, you know, you learn something more. I think we've been on salute about continuing to score and look for it. And, you know, even though we didn't get the W's early in the season, she had some amazing games. And I think that that's going to help us later on when she is definitely not just a threat passing and facilitating, but also a threat scoring. And so when she's able to continue to do that, obviously Allie had some big minutes. Steph played great. Rue came in. I mean, you talk about our rookies, Dana coming in and playing crucial minutes to give Salute a break. You think about Natasha Matt coming in, getting picked to knock down 2 free throws or to miss 2 free throws basically, and then she came down and knocked them in, then hit a jump shot. I mean, it's that type of stuff that I think is how you build momentum going forward.
Collectively winning at home finally, and you were able to be there on the floor winning at home.
I think listen, we're excited, but we understand, you know, we've got a lot of work to do. We got a lot to accomplish, and we got to get better. So I think we're taking it. Obviously, we're excited to not have lost today, because I think sometimes when you win, you think you're the best thing, and sometimes when you lose, you wonder if you'll ever get out of it. And we got out of it, and it feels good to win.
Thank you.
More questions for Candace. Doug Feinberg.
Hey, Ace, good to see you.
Good to see you as well.
I got two for you. This was your first home game, and you talked so much about coming home to Chicago. It was sold out, the normal game you'll have probably next year, this championship, maybe later this season. But did you think at all before the game about playing your first game in Chicago, or is there so much going on to actually playing again that it didn't at all?
Yeah, I don't know if it really hit me as much. I mean, obviously, I'm excited to be back on the court. I think it was a combination of just excited to be back on the floor and it being at home. Obviously, it's not an ordinary situation, but, you know, my dad was there. My family was here. So it was great to be able to play in this arena on the court. I mean, it was killing me these last couple weeks to be in the building and not be able to play. So it was a great feeling to be back, and, you know, I definitely don't take it lightly.
The question is, what would TNT Candace say about player this game tonight? If you were analyzing yourself on TNT.
You know, I think, you know, it takes time. It takes rhythm, but I think I pride myself on making people around me better. And that's, you know, that's what I'm going to continue to do until my game
catches up. No problem.
Hey Candace, you said your ankle was jacked up and you posted that picture and we all saw, the bruising and everything. Can you go into it all? Like what happened? I know the team said you rolled it before Atlanta, but what did you do?
It was shoot around and, I was doing post-up drills and it turned into, we weren't really playing one-on-one, but, I'm competitive. So I went a little bit harder probably than I should have in shoot around and I rolled my ankle. And, obviously it wasn't ideal. I knew it was probably not the best sprain when I did it. And, I tried to get rehab in Atlanta and tried to go and I couldn't. And then the same thing, the home opener, I just couldn't. And so, I got it checked out. Everything is okay. Obviously I'm 35, so there's going to be some damage from past ankle rolls, but, overall the prognosis is good and, I should continue to get back. I still have a little bit of residual swelling, but that hopefully will go away in the coming weeks.
And then last question for me is, that first play of the game, you grabbed that defensive rebound, passed it up the court to Kalia. I don't know, how did that feel to you starting the game right off the bat with an assist to Kalia in transition, and what we, got to see in that opening game a ton from the two of you?
Well, I think if I would have had an oxygen tank, that would have continued the rest of the game, but I ran out of gas. I mean, it was good to be able to play free. Everybody that knows me knows I love playing in transition. And, it's like kind of having being a quarterback and having a receiver that can just go up and get anything. And that's what Ka does. She's super athletic. She runs. Having her and Diamond on the wings, it's a dream come true for me. And so I think once I get my oxygen, we'll obviously see it more than just the first quarter.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
3 more questions. Allison Moran, the first one. Go for it.
Here, okay. There's my unmute button. Can you hear me, Candace?
Yes, I can hear you.
Yeah, thanks. Congratulations, first of all, for being back on the floor, and also for the rising tide that lifts all boats tonight. Talk about when you were on the bench, how much bench coaching were you doing during that time?
How much what?
Coaching. Were you sort of acting as, you could do this better or you could do this better for the other players?
I mean, that's how we always are. I think we're a team that talks and, listens and figures out what we do. And, that's not going to change about me regardless of my situation of whatever I'm doing or whatever I'm not doing. That's not going to change. And so, I had a lot of time on the bench because I only played, 18 minutes. So, the other 22 and some change to be engaged in the basketball game.
And from this game, what do you hope to improve on, both personally and with the team in the coming games?
I think it's that killer instinct, honestly. We were up by like 16 points right on the brink. And then we just continue to let teams get back in it. And, over the past couple of games, that kind of has come back to haunt us a little bit. Just because if you think about it, we were up 10 on Phoenix at home and let them come back. Same thing with LA. We were up on them. And so I think it's, we definitely have to, when it's that point in the game, we have to execute and we have to get stops on the defensive end. And so I think that's definitely something we need to improve on, and I think we will.
Thanks, Candace, and welcome back.
Thank you.
questions. Noah Wilkes and then Nick Hamilton.
How you doing?
Good, thank you.
I just got one question for you. If you can describe this team using one Jay-Z lyric or one Jay-Z song, what would it be? To describe this team overcoming their adversity, what would it be?
I'm a big Never Change fan. So Jay-Z's song Never Change, I think that kind of describes it. I mean, obviously I'm back home, so that's kind of nostalgic in itself, but I would say Never Change. And yeah, I think that's what this team is. I mean, if you think about it, we've gone through some bad times right now, and everybody's heart is in the right spot, you know? And you don't see that. There's always usually some terrible negativity and people that don't want to be there, and people think they should, you know, it's not been the case. Mm-hmm.
Nick Hamilton.
Candace, welcome back to the court.
Thank you.
Two-part question. Mentally, how big was this for you just to return to the court after the injury? And how big was this win for the team overall mentally?
I think mentally for me to be back on the court is huge. And I think sometimes we don't stop and reflect of how far we've come, because I know the young Candace would have pressed right now and been so upset and been disappointed, and, you know, because I didn't play well, but I impacted the game. And I think that the more seasoned and older Candace understands that, and understands that it is going to be a process for me to get back to even where I was to start the season. And your second question was what? This win. Yeah, I think this win is big for us. I mean, you know, it feels good to get a W. You know, I mean, it's good to get a W. I think by any means necessary, wherever that starts. And so from here, we definitely have to build and keep going.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Candace, and thank you all for joining
Thanks,
us. Enjoy
Kelly.
the rest of your